and today I want to share with you how to crochet this black and white striped top inspired by Beetlejuice. With the new Beetlejuice movie coming out, I thought this would be the perfect time to make this, so let's go ahead and get started. The materials that you'll need for this project include white yarn, black yarn, green yarn, and purple yarn for those Beetlejuicy details. These are all 100% acrylic size 4 yarn, and I'm using a size 5mm hook. But of course you can use whatever kind of yarn that you'd like. And if you need, I do have links to yarn in the description box down below via my Amazon affiliate links. Alrighty then, let's go ahead and get started. We're first going to start off with the white yarn. So grab your white yarn and then chain 12, and after you've chained 12 you're going to go back on that chain with a single crochet. Now if you are a complete beginner to crochet, I highly recommend that you first watch my crochet for beginners video that is linked in the description box below, so you can learn the basic stitches and how to crochet, and then you can come back to this one if you'd like, or try more beginner friendly tutorials that I also have on my channel. But again, after you've chained 12, you're going to go back on that chain with a single crochet until you reach the end of the row. And what we're working on now is the cup. So, funny enough, if this is also too fast for you, but you do know how to crochet, I do have a dedicated video on how to crochet a cup. So I would recommend that you watch that first and then come back to this one, because this one is a little bit more complicated since we're dealing with multiple colors, but it's the exact same steps. Anywho, so once you have completed your row of single crochet, you're going to chain 1, flip the project over, and then go into the very first stitch of the new row, and then continue on with the next row of single crochet until you reach the end of that row. And then after you reach the end of that row, that's when we're going to change things up and make the triangle shape as opposed to a rectangular shape as we normally would. So just complete your row of single crochet until you get to the end, and once you get there you're going to stop and switch things up. So instead of working horizontally as you normally would, we're actually going to flip the project and start working on it vertically like this, and again make the triangular shape. And to do that, we're actually going to go into this middle stitch right here and make 3 single crochets inside of that one stitch. Now it's going to be 3, 1 to make a point for the triangle, and then also since it's 3, there's always going to be a middle stitch from here on end. And with that middle stitch, that's going to be the stitch that you always go into to continue making the point, which is again 3 single crochets inside of that one middle stitch. Okay, so after you've made your 3 single crochets inside of that one middle stitch, you're going to continue on with the rest of the project, or rather the rest of the row, with a single crochet until you reach the bottom of that row. And then once you reach the bottom of that row, you're going to treat it like every other project, like normal project, and make sure that you go into the very last stitch of the row and then chain 1, flip the project over, and then start the new row, typically. But since we are making stripes, we're actually first going to change the color. So I reached the end of the row where I would normally chain 1, flip the project over, and then start the new row. But first I'm going to attach the new color, and you can attach it however way that you want. There's different methods on attaching new colors. All I do is grab the new color and then bring it through my hook and then just start using the new color as I normally would. And now that the black yarn is attached, I could go ahead and continue on with the normal steps I would do. So I chained 1, flipped the project over, and now I'm just going to complete the row of single crochet all the way up to the point of the cup. And once I reach the point, I'm going to make sure that I find the middle stitch, and once I find the middle stitch, I'm going to make 3 single crochets inside of that one middle stitch so that I could keep up making that point. And after I've crocheted 3 single crochets inside of that one stitch, then I'm just going to complete the rest of the row by going into every single stitch with 1 single crochet until I reach the end of the row. And then once I reach the end of the row, I'm going to make 1 more row using the black before I switch back to the white. And again, when I reach the bottom of this row, that's when I'm going to chain 1, flip the project over, and that's how we're going to make the triangle shape. So at the very top we make the point, and then at the bottom we keep it rectangular, so overall it's just a giant triangle. And if that is totally confusing, I do have essentially a beginner's guide on how to make a cup, linked in the description box down below, so you can go ahead and watch that. Get an idea of how to make a cup in general, and then come back to this one and see just the minor changes to make the stripes. So again, now that I reached the end of the row, I'm going to chain one, flip the project over, and then continue on with my second row using the black yarn and follow the exact same steps. And once I have completed that second row of using the black yarn for the cup, I'm going to switch back to the white yarn and then just continue on with the pattern. And from there, the project is just going to get bigger and bigger, taller and wider, and I will know once I'm done with the project when I put the project against myself and I'm happy with the coverage. Now, of course, everybody's body and preferences are different, so what works for me may not work for you. I have a smaller chest, so I need to make less rows than someone who with a bigger chest may want, and I like full coverage, and maybe some people don't want it to be so full coverage. So again, it totally depends on your size and preference, how many rows you're going to make, how big your cup is going to be. So this is what my cup looks like so far after a few rows of switching back and forth with the white and the black. In total, I made 14 rows and 7 stripes, and once I put the project against myself, I was happy with the coverage. So this is what my cup looks like. And from here, we're essentially going to do the same thing all over again to make 2 cups. So after you've completed crocheting 2 striped cups, we're going to move on to the body of the top. And in order to make the body of the top, we're going to continue on making those vertical stripes. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our yarn, whatever yarn you want to start with. I don't think it really matters, because as long as it lines up with the stripes on the cup, then you're good to go. But for me, I'm going to start off with the white again, and then make a slip knot, and then chain however many chains that you need for whatever coverage that you want. Like for me, I know I want a crop top, so I want it to cover from the bottom of my breast to right above my belly button. So I'm going to make a chain that is long enough to cover again from the bottom of my breast to my belly button. But if you want it longer, then just make a chain that's long enough to go from the bottom of your breast to wherever you want it to land. Again, this is going to be the length of your top, so however long you want this top to be, that's how many chains that you need to make. So just put it against yourself, and once you're happy with the length of it, then you're good to go. For me, I chained 15 chains, again because I'm short and also I want it to be a crop top, so it's just 15. But if you're taller or you want more coverage, then you may need to chain more, or if you want it really short, then you chain less. Totally up to you. Anywho, after you have chained that, then you're going to go back on it with a single crochet and make 2 rows with the white or whatever color you decided to go with first. And after you've completed 2 rows of single crochet with that color, then you're going to switch to the opposite color. So for me, I switched to the black yarn, and then make 2 rows using the black yarn. And again, every so often I just kind of line it up so I know that the stripes are going to coincide with each other. And here's me attaching the black yarn so I could start the 2 rows with the black yarn. And then after I completed 2 rows using the black yarn, I'm going to switch back to the white and make 2 rows of single crochet using the white yarn, and so on and so forth until the body of the top is the proper size. Now this is where it gets a little bit complicated because there's multiple ways you could do this. Now you can just make one big piece, one strap that will work for the body of the top if you just want it to be solid in the front and then you just want the corset style lacing in the back. Just make one solid piece. But for me, since I want 2 lace-up designs, one in the front and one in the back, I had to make 2 separate body pieces, which again is a little bit confusing. So essentially what I did is I made one piece that wrapped around from my chest to my back, and then the other piece that wraps around the other side of my chest to the other side of my back. And that's how I came up with these two pieces, making sure that I had some gaps in between. So I had about a 2-inch gap in the front and about a 5-inch gap in the back, so that there's room for the lace-up design. And again, you could just make it easier on yourself and just make one solid strap right here. Just one giant piece for the body portion of the top, and then just leave a gap in the back for the lace-up design in the back, or leave just a gap in the front for the lace-up design in the front if you just want it in the front. But if you want 2 lace-up designs like me, then you're gonna have to do 2 body pieces like I did. And this is what it looks like. So just continue on with that pattern until you're happy with the body pieces or body piece that you like. And now what we have to do is attach everything together, which this is the part where I messed up, because I should have attached the pieces together, but I didn't. I went ahead and started with the color design first. So from here, I'm going to grab my green yarn, which is so appropriately called slime, and I'm going to make the fun designs on the sides of the project. I'm essentially going to outline the project with the slime colored yarn, and then also make the back strap with this green yarn. So again, grab your yarn, and then I'm going to attach it to the side of the body portion of the top. Now, looking back on this, I probably again should have attached the cup and the body piece together, so it would have been easier for me, because I did struggle a little bit, but I didn't do that. So just know that when you're doing this, make sure that you first attach the 2 pieces together and then do the outline design. Anywho, so what I'm doing here is outlining the side of the body portion of the top with a half double crochet, and I decided to use a half double crochet just because I wanted to switch it up and do something other than a single crochet. But you can also use a single crochet here, and I think it'll look really neat and polished, but at the same time I did want it to look a little bit not as polished, just because I feel like it fits the character of Beetlejuice a little bit more than everything being like perfect. So it kind of worked out that this is not like the most even looking outline there is, but again, I went ahead and outlined this portion of the project until I got to the point where the cup is, and then since I didn't attach the cup and this portion of the project together yet, I had to attach it here with a slip stitch. And after I attached it, that's when I began the design on the cup. And for the design of the cup, I went ahead and made 3 double crochets inside of 1 stitch, and then I would skip 2 stitches and make 3 double crochets inside of 1 stitch again, and after making 3 double crochets inside of that 1 stitch, I would skip 2 stitches, then go and make 3 double crochets inside of 1 stitch, and so on and so forth until I reach the top of the cup. And this is what the design looks like. So it's a little bit of a different look than just the single crochets, and that's why I wanted to switch it up just for the outline of the cup, and I think it looks really, really good. So again, I am following that pattern until I reach the point of the cup, and then once I reach the point of the cup, that's where I'm going to make the strap. So at the point, I went ahead and made a single crochet, and then I chained 150 chains. Now, I already know that a 150 chains works for me because I have made crochet tops before, and I know that 150 chains is enough to wrap around my shoulder, go across my back, and then also enough for a lace-up design in the back. But again, everybody's size and preferences are different, so you may need more or less chains than I do. So I would suggest that you start off with 150 and then kind of gauge to see if that's enough, and if it's not, then definitely make more, because it needs to be pretty long for it to wrap around and across your back, and then also do the lace-up design. So that's why it needs to be like over 100 chains long typically. So yeah, after you've chained however many chains you need in order for it to accomplish that, Then you're going to go back on that chain with a slip stitch just to make it a little bit more secure, and then also I think that it is much more comfortable with a row of a slip stitch as opposed to just a chain, because when it's just a chain it kind of just like digs into your skin. But anywho, after you've gone all the way down your strap with a slip stitch, then you're going to make one last single crochet at the very bottom just to make it extra secure. And then you're going to continue on with the decorative pattern that we were doing with the 3 double crochets inside 1 stitch, then skipping 2 stitches, 3 double crochets inside 1 stitch, skipping 2 stitches until you reach the bottom of the cup. And once you reach the bottom of the cup, then I just made a row of half double crochet just to complete that portion of the project. And after that, I needed to attach the cup and the body portion of the project together because I didn't do that in the beginning, which again, I totally should have done that in the beginning just to make things easier. But I'll go ahead and show you how to attach it with the green yarn so you could see what I'm doing here. But essentially all I'm going to do is line the 2 pieces together where I want them to be attached to, so make sure that the stripes are aligned with one another. And then I'm going to slip stitch between the cup and the body portion of the project and just attach them together as I want them to be attached. Again, making sure that the stripes are lined up, the black stripes with the black stripe and the white stripe with the white stripe, so it kind of just like goes in seamlessly with one another. And again, all I'm using is a slip stitch to attach them all, so I'm going to go all along the bottom portion of the cup and the top portion of the body of the top, and I'm going to attach them together with a slip stitch. Now I am using green so you can see what I'm doing, but for the actual project I switched to white so you do not see the stitching in between. And I would suggest that you use either black or white for this portion because you do not want it to show, unless of course you do want it to show, then go ahead and use the slime. But for me, I used white so you wouldn't be able to see where I slip stitched the 2 pieces together. Anywho, now that side is completely done, I'm going to work on the other side and do the exact same thing. The only difference I'm going to make is I'm going to attach the 2 pieces together first, and then I'm going to create the green outline again with the half double crochets on the side and then the 3 double crochet pattern on the cup. Then I'm going to make the strap. Then I'm going to go down the cup with the same decorative design and then 1 row of half double crochet to complete the outline of the top. And then after that you could continue to outline the rest of the top, or you could stop where I did. I wanted the bottom of the top to just be striped, so I just left it plain. And now that I'm done with both pieces, I'm going to now lace up the back straps. So grab your pieces and flip them so that the back side is facing you. So determine which side is the back side and make sure that they're facing you. Then grab 1 strap and bring it on over to the opposite side and attach it to the top portion of the body of the top. And make sure that you bring that strap through that top stitch, and once you have done that, you're going to grab your strap and bring it on over to the opposite side again and attach it to like the top middle of the opposite side of the body portion of the project. And once you've attached it to about the top middle of that side, you're going to bring it on over to the opposite side again and attach it to the bottom middle of this portion of the top. And once you've attached it to the bottom middle of this portion of the top, you're going to bring it on over to the opposite side 1 last time and attach it to the bottom of this body portion of the top. And once you've attached it to the bottom, then you're totally done with that side. And you're going to do the exact same thing just with the opposite side with the opposite strap. So again, grab your strap, this time on the opposite side, and bring it on over to the opposite side and attach it to the top portion of the bottom portion of this top. That is very confusing to say, but you know what I mean. So the top portion right here, and then you're going to bring it on over to the opposite side and attach it to the top middle of the opposite side, and then you're going to bring it on over to the opposite side again and attach it to the bottom middle of this side. And then one last time, bring it on over to the opposite side and attach it to the bottom of that side of the top. And once you've attached both straps like this, then you're totally done with the lace-up design on the back. And now we just need to make the lace-up design on the front of the top. And this is where we're going to bring in our final color. We're finally going to bring in the purple yarn. So grab your purple yarn and attach it to the bottom of the project and make your strap. Now this is going to be significantly smaller than the back strap. For me, I chained 70 and that was enough to make it so that the strap could go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for the lace-up design. And again, this is going to be trial and error. I just kind of guessed to see if 70 would work, and 70 worked for me. But for you, it may be more or less, so just kind of give it a try and see what worked for you. But just so you know, I chained 70 and then I went back on that chain with a slip stitch. And once I reached the bottom of that chain, I cut the yarn from the yarn ball and did it all over again on the opposite side so that I had 2 straps of purple at the front of my top. And then after that, I essentially just laced it up like I did in the back, maybe leaving these gaps in between the lace a little bit smaller than in the back. And I went up as far as I could, and after I have laced everything up, I was totally done with the top. And that is how I made this Beetlejuice inspired crochet top. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you found it either interesting, entertaining, or helpful, please get a big thumbs up before you go. And also check out the rest of my channel. I have so many crochet related videos ranging from beginner friendly tutorials to crochet with me, crochet ideas, and so much more. And if you want to keep up with the latest of everything I'm up to, please follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Both are at Krystal Everdeen, and I'd love to see you there. Thank you so much again for watching, and don't forget to click that red subscribe button if you have not already, so I can see you next time. Bye! And have a magical day.